Taz, and he goes jumping in. Amazing round. Great hat-trick from Taz.
He flashes in and casts the ultimate. Then a 20 health left. Oh no, Sumo flashes. The shield clutch.
Oh, a blink into all those units. The amazing defense champion of the Intel Extreme Masters.
Welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Global Challenge here in Kiev. It's been a long day already. I've already been talking lots and lots and lots, but finally, again, at the end of the day, I get to sit down for some League of Legends. And, of course, these final 2 games, I say that in plurally, because we're going to try something a little bit funky here. We're going to be concentrating on Against All Authority versus Moscow 5. However, I am also in the Dignitas versus Cypher game. Now, this group, Demon, I think you should probably run through it because you've been getting the times and everything from the admins, because this one, it could turn really, really interesting.
Yeah, there's a bunch of scenarios. So basically, it's if it's 1-2, which means 1 win, 2 losses, or if it's 2-1 across the board. And there's a chance that it could happen across the board. There's a bunch of times out. I'm not too sure whether we should probably get into the exact times. We'll get down to it probably when
we get there.
Because there's well, I mean, there's a list of like 9 different times that are things like if they win within set time, or if they win within this time and they win with this time. And there's a really, I mean, the admins have worked it all out, which is great, because I kind of went over to ask him and he's already
working it
These
out.
damn teams make my job harder. But we do have the picks and bans going in one game. So what we have is we are going to be in both games. So it will be confusing. We're going to concentrate on Against All Authority versus Moscow 5. That is kind of the main game, because Moscow 5 obviously 2-0 at the moment. Against All Authority have to win that game, which is a big if, because Moscow 5 have looked incredibly strong. But of course, Dignitas versus Cypher. If Dignitas go ahead and win, Moscow go and win, then it's all well and done. If Cypher go and beat Dignitas and Against All Authorities go and lose to Moscow 5, we have another 3-way split. So we're going to try to keep things going as much as we can. We do have the ability to switch between both games on your screen. We will try and stick to Moscow 5 Against All Authorities as much as possible, unless we really know that there's like an important Dragon fight coming up or a Baron fight, in which case we're going to make our producer really work hard, listen to us all the way through, which he's probably not going to want to do. And,
I have to give a shout out, by the way, in this little studio that we have here. Obviously we've been switching between 2. This is a one-man production team. The man is called Schindler, and he is a beast. So high five to that man, who deserves a lot of thanks for putting his hard work in for this one. But we're into the bans, the picks and bans here. It looks like Moscow 5 Against All Authority are pretty much ready to go into theirs as well. I'll just give you a quick rundown of what's happening in Dignitas versus Cypher at the moment. Dignitas have banned out Rammus, Cassiopeia and Graves. Cypher have banned out Rumble, Rise and Karthus. And currently we have a couple of picks coming in, which is the first pick for Dignitas is going to be Maokai, straight out there right from the get-go. And it looks like Morgana Sivir will be the 2 first choices over for Cypher as well.
Okay, so we had a full start over on the other side. So they're carrying on with that one. So we'll keep our eye on the picks and bans over here. Now, I mean, it's a big one, because Cypher have been really trying the push strat so far throughout this, just like they did in New York, just like they did in the New York qualifiers, in fact, as well. And, of course, Dignitas last game. Wow, we've got Corki been locked in and Nunu support for Dignitas. Okay, so that's going to be an interesting one. So obviously, that's against Sivir. He's good to using Corki. Could be an interesting one down the bottom there. We are still waiting for one player over there, so that's no problem. We can concentrate on this one. You've got it on your screen now, so you can see exactly what's happening. This is Dignitas versus Cypher at the moment. We will be switching between the 2. So if you've just tuned in, and we must apologize actually for the timing. I'm going to say there was basically a timing fail between commentator and when game was starting, and the actual hours of Eastern European time and Central European time was kind of lost. So he wasn't trolling you when he said game's in 5 minutes. He actually meant it's in an hour and 5 minutes. So apologies for that one. We need to get that one clear. So during the time I've been waffling, Tariq and Udyr looking like he's going to get picked out there. So that's not a bad team, pretty tanky team as well. Obviously, Sivir is going to be pushing with the speed in there, and Schleyer in the jungle and Udyr, very tanky. Tariq can be tanky. He's probably at the moment the squishiest one in there. And, of course, Morgana is probably one of the most tanky APs you can get out there. So Dignitas, what are they going to do? What will they have up top? They've got the AD and bottom lane sorted. They've got the jungler sorted. Will they have... I mean, Karthus is banned out. So he did pick Skara, picked up Swain in the first game against Moscow 5, and it went horrible. I mean, it really went horribly wrong from 0-6-1, I think, in it. He got targeted pretty much throughout. Oh, we have the bans and picks going in Moscow 5 as well. We'll keep to this one because it's nearly finished. Okay, Voibo looks like he might get picked Trundle, so we could have... oh, wow, Veigar. Awesome. So we're going to have Veigar in there. We thought we wouldn't see Veigar because Nijaki is famed for Veigar. Ah, okay, that would make Voibo sense. Kennen up top there, that could be Voiboy. Definitely. So, but Veigar in the mid could be an interesting one. That's going to be targeting against Morgana. Not too sure how that one's going to work out. We're waiting for the final pick over there. Meanwhile, we have Moscow 5 and Against All Authorities started out. So let's give you the bans for Against All Authorities. And there we go. Look at that. Hey,
he is listening. The Schindler is on form.
Schindler is on form. And Nunu Rise, Shyvana banned out. Shyvana, of course, has been picked up pretty much through every game by Diamonds, and Rise has been picked up, of course, by Alex. Karthus banned out by Moscow 5, so Alex can't pick up Karthus. That's possibly targeting towards Alfor, of course. We need to point out that players say, actually they played Swain in the last game, of course. Anivia is available, he's pretty well known for that one. Skarner being picked up, very strong jungler, and which means obviously Diamonds is thinking, okay, I'm going to take Lee Sin if you're having that. Sona picked up, very strong support there. Shaco actually banned out as well. Against All Authorities, Linak played Shaco in the last game as well against Dignitas. Didn't quite work out for them. Nearly did, actually. I mean, it was a pretty close game, and then it kind of steamrolled. And Dignitas sort of rolled over them. So Cassiopeia was left available and has been picked up by Althor. Now, we've talked about the tutorial that Ocelot's going to be giving with Ben over the next few days, but Cassiopeia Althor is phenomenal on it. So that's a very interesting one. Of course, we had the interview earlier on with Alex. Actually, sorry, it was with Darian, and he basically said, you know, the best player in the world, he thinks, is Alex. So that's strong praise indeed for your AP and mid there. And, well, Galio picked up. Is that going to be a Galio counter in the mid? Is it going to be a Galio up the top? Hell no in Moscow 5. It could be Galio support.
We like to break the trends. It should be the slogan of Moscow 5.
Yeah, the final pick actually for Cypher was Riven, so that game's locked in and getting ready to go. Meanwhile, over this one, I'm not too sure what Moscow 5 are going to go with. I mean, yeah, like you say, they like to break the trend. Shyvana has been banned out, so they're going to have forced to use a different jungler. They're forced to use a different mid, and obviously Nunu banned out, so they're forced to use a different support. Okay, Sonic, yeah, Sona Karthus, Cogmore down the bottom. That makes a bit more sense. So we're actually seeing a bit of a more standard meta team from Moscow 5 in this one, which actually I think plays into the hands of Against All Authorities. They're going to want to make it as ordinarily as possible, and we should point out Against All Authorities actually beat Moscow 5 just last weekend on Saturday in the Go for LOL tournament. Now, you know, people are going, oh, you know, they don't play serious strats, but Moscow 5 have said in their interview, the team we fear the most is Against All Authorities. So whether there's some sort of hoodoo they've got over them that, you know, they just know what to pick, I don't know. Riven being picked up top, so Soaz is going to be on Riven up the top there, and Osaf is going to be picking support Taric to go with Graves. That is a very strong team Against All Authorities have there. However, who's going to be where? I'm just thinking, so, okay, so yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that works out fine. I'm just trying to get in my head who's going to be playing what role in Against All Authorities. That actually is a very good team for Against All Authorities. Moscow 5, of course, had Cogmore earlier on and were beastly. They absolutely destroyed Cypher. It was 15-1. I think Darian, the only one to die in that game, so he was the dirty feeder of the team. Probably took abuse, yeah.
That one death, what a feeder.
Yeah, and there's Aurelia. I was just thinking Aurelia's open. It's against Riven, so that would make sense. So that is going to be the final pick, I think, for Moscow 5. Moscow 5 do have a pretty good A team. Of course, you've got the Galio ulti to go in there. You've got Sona's Crescendo to go across. Cogmore can be just batterying away on them all. Meanwhile, that's happening. And then, obviously, you've got Aurelia in there can shard through. You obviously can be jumping on anyone available. Alex, in fact, Aurelia and Lee Sin can jump right on someone. So they could target out possibly Cassiopeia very quickly in this. So we're going to have to keep our eye on just really across the map. It's interesting to see how the jungle's going to go. Diamonds was very good in the first game, absolutely on the ball, just physically did nothing wrong. Meanwhile, didn't actually make that much of a great impact in the second game to begin with. Certainly came into it later on. Meanwhile, the game over the other side has started, but we're just gonna stick with this one because it's gonna launch any second now. So, Joe, I mean, you've not had that much chance because you've been busy doing Counter-Strike today. I think you said Counter-Strike Strauss again there. Counter-Strike 1.6 all day. It's been a pretty busy day from what I can tell. You just changed the map.
I pressed the F keys and I was like, oops, I don't really know what I've done there. But
Joe's failing at map control. Just to keep you an update on that game, like it is literally started. It's only 1 minute 18. There is a bit of a jungle invade, but nothing really happening at the moment. So we'll stick with this one until it kind of really gets to Dragon phase, which we will have to keep our eye on. Joe's keeping his eye on that one. We saw a 4.5 minute Dragon earlier on from Dignitas against Moscow 5, which worked out well. We'd have had a lever in this one, so we might as well jump across to that while we're waiting. Oh, okay, they're going to have to remake anyways. They're saying Ruben Page bugged. They need to keep their eye on that one because we had that yesterday. I'm not going to say which team. They said there was an issue, and they restarted the game, and actually it was a case of he didn't have his Ruben Page for that particular summon. Oh, they've caught out Voyboy. Voyboy's going to get away from that one, though. You can see it on your screen. This is Dignitas versus Cypher, so we're going to be switching between the two. Actually, it's going to keep the video really on his toes because he's going to have to change that top bit. That top bit you see, Dignitas Cypher, that's not like in-game or anything. That's the producer physically having to change it every time we switch between them. Apologies, I didn't even think of that when we asked to do this. I need to get myself back in there.
One thing that I think we should bring up as well, Demon, is the fact that, you know, how are these teams going to come into this game? What's their feeling? Because, you know, depending on the situation, who beats who, we've got this time factor like we had at the Intel Extreme Masters in China as well. This time factor means, you know, are some teams, Moscow 5 maybe, because they're in the safest position out of everyone, are they going to play super safe and drag the game out as long as possible? Because if they then lose, if it's a long game, it still works possibly in their favor. However, you look at the likes of Dignitas, Cypher in particular, they need a real fast game.
Yeah, indeed. Well, I spoke to Skara, actually. We were talking about the time things. The players haven't really been informed with the exact breakdowns because, you know, why bother? At the end of the day, they all want to win the game. And Skara just said, at the end of the day, it says, we can't do anything about the other game. We just need to win this one. So their focus is just win, do your job, get on with it. Like you say, Moscow 5, whether they realize that maybe if they lose to Against All Authorities inside, I think it's inside 25 minutes, there could actually be possibility. There is an actual possibility, and there's a couple of time fiddles going on, like, you know, things that have to happen, but the Moscow 5 could actually go out of the tournament,
yeah.
which is, it's a pretty crazy situation, despite the fact they've absolutely steamrolled the first two games. If they lose to Against All Authorities within 25 minutes, there's a chance that Against All Authorities and the winner of this game, which would have to be Dignitas, for Moscow 5 to be out. And, I don't know. There's all sorts of situations that can happen.
There's lots of things that can happen. But yeah, for you guys that are just tuning in, you're wondering, why are we on Dignitas Cypher when Moscow 5 are playing, who are everyone's new favorite team as of today? Well, what we're going to be trying to do, because the final games have to be played at the same time, we're going to be switching around the games. The main focus will be Moscow 5 Against All Authority, so make sure you keep yourself on toes, and I know you guys posting in the forums will reply to some people who don't realize that they didn't listen to us or whatever. So just to let you know with that, here we go. A bit of aggression actually down at the bottom, and this could go badly for Piri. He's having to back away here. Nunu trying to get in there, can't quite finish things off. We did see Cutie Pie, who's Miku League baby for this one, actually moving back there as well. In the middle, in the meantime, we had somewhat of a gank, not really too much going on there, but the bottom lane is the big focus right now. We are seeing Tariq go back. We do have a bit of an invade going on. In fact, two of them moving in from Cypher. What are they going to try to do here? They're just going to try and steal away some jungle. Are they going to try and catch IO Dominate here around the golems? Actually, they may come right in for this bottom lane. Corki, as we said, is very, very low. He's in that bush. They've got Clairvoyant Sound. Can Morgana get in there? He's actually used a flash, and surely that's a dead Corki. That is a dead Corki indeed. And now we, well, that'll be first blood. Great stuff from Cypher moving in there. I'm not sure why Corki actually cancelled then. I think he could have got away from that one. I mean, it's one of those decisions where you either make it or you don't, and it could go horribly bad, or you just get away. That time Corki didn't get out of it, and we are going to see Cypher taking a first dragon at 5.5 minutes. Maokai is still hanging around there, and actually Skara's going to come teleporting in down that bottom. All the damage going out onto Sivir as well, but still not quite got the damage to finish things off. There's a dragon actually going to catch out Schleier, which is, you know, not all that bad. It would have been a lot worse if someone had have done some damage in the midst of things. We did see Sivir actually escape, but they're still on for the fight. Skara now the one getting all the pressure, but they're going to dive in onto Skyout. The exhaust is in there. Corki's in the midst of the fight as well, and he will go down to I Will Dominate. A great action-filled start from this one. Voyboy's actually come down from the top lane as well, but I'm not sure they're going to manage anything. And in and amongst all that, Dragon wasn't finished, and now Dignitas going to turn this one on the head. And I'm not going to say get the Dragon because it's by no means finished just yet. I Will Dominate is actually going super low. Will be killed by the Dragon, who, by the way, Dragon is the one who's on form right now in this game. He's got 2 kills.
And this game has just about got underway as well. It nearly had a jungle invade, so Moscow 5 versus Against All Authorities is just coming up to 2 minutes. They are very close to engaging, and they are going to back away. So,
oh, we've got a gank here in middle as well. Kennen is there. Spell Shield was down, but it's not going to be enough. And you know, that's the thing about Viger. He gets that stun trap down, and you are in such a bad situation. Voyboy just porting home. Schleier not going to get into that brush in time, and he will find himself safe. So it's all kicking off, as I like to say here, between Dignitas and Cypher. However, the other game is live, and as this settles down a little bit, possibly as Piri chases Corki out of things, we can probably have a bit of a switch over. Actually, now Voyboy getting rid of Schleier from around that blue buff. Viger is there as well. But I think we can safely switch now.
I'm just wondering if that was ever going to settle down. So here we go. We are 2.5 minutes into it. This is now changed over to Moscow 5 versus Against All Authorities. Against All Authorities, obviously, in the blue down the bottom. Then Moscow 5 up the top in the purple. We'll keep our eye on what is going to happen. Don't worry, we'll keep our eye on that game. If you're upset we've just switched away from it, I actually thought that one might be a pretty erratic game. You know, Cypher were always very aggressive, and Dignitas are responding with their own aggression as well. So down the bottom, or so should I say up the top, it is going to be Riven versus Aurelia. Very much a common laning partner, certainly in Europe. Moscow 5 at the moment are already on an invade. Diamonds is coming up. So as he's on full health, I'm not too sure if he's got, he's got cleanse and he's got flash, so he could get away from this one. It's just a case of whether they can make him burn that flash. Looking across at the moment, you can just see Diamonds. He's still sat there. He's actually leveling it up off the minions that Darian has. And Darian is sort of trying his best to bait Soaz into this one. I'm keeping my eye down the bottom there. They're going to finally jump into his Soaz, and that is the difference. Riven can escape these things very easily, and Diamond's actually, I wouldn't say he's wasted time because he picked up experience. If anything, he's actually fed experience away from Darian. So back down the bottom, Skarner also had a little invade, but he's backed away from that one. So unsuccessful ganks on both sides. I didn't see whether a flash got burned. Yes, actually, Genja used a flash up. So Genja's burned his flash up down the bottom there when Skarner invaded.
Over in this game, we've seen a little bit more action down at the bottom. However, not too much to talk about, so we can concentrate still on Against All Authority Moscow 5. This game, as you can see now on your screens, is actually no, not as you can see, but that's going to get confusing for me. Never mind the guy who had to produce it. Actually, we are seeing Nunu going very, very low, but it's still kind of back and forth exchanges between Against All Authority Moscow 5. It remains 2-1 for Cypher. Sorry, not Moscow.
Okay, meanwhile, you can see Linak is now trying to catch on towards Pepper there. Genja's come around. Meanwhile, they've cut him off. This is surely going to be Genja going down first blood, potentially, but no. Diamonds has come and managed to jump in there. Genja already very low. Genja does go down to Linak there. Yellow Star follows, though, so that's 1-1 already. Osaf is going to drop as well. Moscow 5 coming out on top of that one. So that was more a case of having your friends around, and teleport used up by Alex to get down in it. So Alex is actually playing in mid with Galio, which is what I was trying to point out earlier. So he's going to be mid Galio versus Cassiopeia. So that was pretty close stuff between the two, and really very good support, very good reactions to respond to it quickly, because teleport is not a very quick thing to do. You have to, place that ward down, which is what they did. They managed to put the ward down at Dragon, port down straight down to it, and then getting straight towards the fight. So against Authorities, a little slow to react, a little slow to spot that little circle starting to come down and have to back out of it. But at the moment, it is very even in this game, and I expect it to stay that way, certainly for the first 10 minutes, maybe in 15 minutes, because there's a lot of tense action. Moscow 5, I don't think will play quite as hyper-aggressive and confident as they would have, certainly against Cypher. Cypher just backed away all the time, but at the moment, they're really not backing away from Dignitas.
And Cypher have just actually equalized the kills in this one as well. A nice 3-on-2 push down, 3-on-1 it was, push down the bottom. Udyr waiting in the bottom brush for a while will bring us back to a level score between Dignitas and Cypher.
So, Linac was trying to port away there. He's actually got a ward on him in that river. Actually, no, it's Clairvoyance that managed to spot him. I wonder what kept him there, but they've just put a bit of pressure on him. He was actually just porting away, so nothing really coming from it. Cassiopeia having a little melee with Alexic in the mid, but not worried about that one. I actually popped a health pot and used one of those buns up, which is what they are in this Lunar Revel, I think it's called. And Soaz just getting out of the way of that one. Diamonds is going to have problems trying to get the ganks down there. I think it's really down the bottom that they want to be focusing, which is exactly what Skarner's thought. Meanwhile, you can see Riven again, and Riven and Aurelia, it's one of those fights that, it always looks like it's close, but you're never quite sure with Riven because you have so much health gain, obviously using the potions which they're doing, burning the potions and the normal abilities that you can just dash away from a fight. It's like, it's close, no it's not. It makes us look silly.
And we're seeing some action over in this game at the moment as well, down on the bottom lane, as you would expect us. Taric actually having to flash away in his bottom lane to stay safe. Meanwhile, he did actually get Nunu got taken down from Sivir in amongst everything. There was also a gank earlier on in middle. Currently lies 3-3 in the scoreline, and a real hectic one as we predicted, Demon, just due to the fact that Cypher need to win this game, number one, and number two, they need to do it quickly.
Do need to do it quickly. I'm just seeing Linac is actually going a bit aggressive here. Lee Sin going for the steal, though, on the blue. Is he going to? I don't think he's going to have a chance to actually try and get Galio over to pick up that blue, so he's going to take it for himself. He does, and walks away, and that will caught against all authorities. Completely out of that one. He will walk straight into him, though. Linux going to go straight towards Diamonds. He knew he was coming down there. Galio's coming down to support. You can see Riven making his way down. Linux going to try to pull Alex actually in towards him. Soaz really doesn't have the health to want to get involved in this fight, though. Will he come across? Althor's coming back up. Of course, Aurelia can join him. They are going to go straight towards Alex. Alex plants himself, and he manages to get taken down. Very close health, those. If he was just given a couple more seconds, and really, if Darien actually would have responded, maybe they could have picked up a double kill there, but Darien wasn't really in that healthier situation, which means Althor not going to get blue, though. The blue went to Lee Sin, so yeah, he walked away quite happily with that one. So it is still very even, 2-2 in score, very, in fact, identical in gold, and pretty much the CS across the board is almost identical as well.
Yeah, and in the midst of your big fight there was almost as though you were commentating my game. It was going on exactly the same time. Dignitas actually coming out 4-1 victorious in a big fight for Dragon. They're now currently over 4,000 gold in the lead. 7-4 is the kill score after 13.5 minutes. So for Dignitas, so far so good. I think Cypher, as well as needing to win this game, they don't have all that much time. I think before 30 minutes is pretty much the time that they were really relying on. So, you know, time slowly ticking away from them. In terms of individual scores, 4-0-1 Kennen with Voyboy at the moment. Over on the other side, 2-0-1 Sivir is what's leading the way for Cypher.
Little dragon pull there. And against all authorities, I think they could have maybe got it in time, but they were a little put off by Galio coming in there. Bearing in mind, Galio had just used his ulti, so Galio's ulti was not available. Of course, Sona could definitely come down and put the crescendo across, so they were playing it very precautiously. The Yellow Star versus Genja down the bottom here is a pretty even fight. It's 46-49 CS, so very even between the two. Riven now returning back to top. He had come down to try and get involved in that Dragon fight, but choosing not to take it at the moment. Actually didn't place a ward there either, or at least I didn't see whether the Maz. Okay, that's a pink ward, so it's a potential that they placed it and I missed them taking down that ward. So I will back up on that one. And looking towards the top there, you can see Aurelia now working his way back. He's just been back on board. He's got himself a Ninja Tabi and a double Ruby Crystal. So they're really going for that health there, actually. Not exactly building into anything. I'm not too sure what he's going to go for with the double Ruby Crystal. looking towards Soaz at the moment. Soaz is going wandering. He's completely left the top. Oh, he's going to take Wolves. Okay. So Skarner's obviously giving the go-ahead. You go take Wolves. Your lane is pretty pushed, so by the time you get back there, yeah, the lane's going to be cleared. Okay, that's fine. Lee Sin now has just managed to take down, yeah, he took down Dragon in solo there. So he snuck in there. So Diamond's at level 7, gone in, taken Dragon solo. Very nicely played. Blue buff now going to give it given across to Galio. A little bit of engagement at the top there, but still Skarner is actually being a little bit left behind, Linak. He's not really got involved. He's not been able to punish, as it was, what he was doing against Dignitas as Shaco earlier. So taking Golems, I expect to see him coming back down bottom in a moment, Joe. But do you want to give us a quick update on what's going on over there?
Yeah, we saw a little bit earlier on a teleport in from Skara from the middle down. Actually, it was at the blue buff. Teleported down to the bottom lane, awarding the bottom brush. Got himself a double kill. He's currently sat on 207. There was a kill for Riven up top. He's currently 9-5 in favor of Dignitas. 207 on Skara's Viger, and also, as I said before, 4-1-1 for Kennen.
Okay, we've got a 4-man against all authorities down the bottom now, so they're going to push onto that one. Riven's keeping Galio busy in the middle, so they're going to be pushing on towards this tower, maybe trying to take it down as quick as possible. Lee Sin is coming across, so we're going to have a 5-man at least. I think Teleport is also up. Yes, it is. So Alex is now teleporting in. There comes the teleport on the tower. They're going to try and launch the way in there. I think Pepper was trying his best to actually get in and pull it. Instead, he's been pulled across. That's going to be surely bad, though. He can crescendo across them. I'm not too sure what the thinking was behind that one, because Alex is going to get straight in. Alex immediately interrupted. Osaf will go down. Cassiopeia will go down as well. Osaf has actually escaped that one, popping his ulti. That means Genja will manage to pick up the kill. Genja will go down. Will he manage to take anyone down with the explosion? He's going to try and chase Althor. Does not do it very nicely. Playing against the authorities, coming out just about on top of that one. Soaz needs to be very careful going against Alexic there with his full health. Meanwhile, this is all happening. Top turret is being beaten away by Darian. So 5-4 at the moment against all authorities with the slight lead. They are trailing behind in gold, of course, because Lee Sin did manage to solo that Dragon, Joe, but definitely starting to tense up in this one.
Yeah, and down here in this game, we've got some crazy action going on, actually. Kills left, right, and center. We've got Corky super low at the moment. Tariq trying to get in there for the kill, which completely fails out for them. And it's ended the current situation 11-7. Lots more kills coming in with this one. Actually, it was Sivir who picked up one in the midst of everything. Riven was just busy farming up at the top, but it was all kicking off. Meanwhile, back over there is some action.
Yeah, Darian. Oh, the fail flash! That is going to be a dead Darian. He tried to flash through the wall there. Obviously didn't quite put it far enough in the arrow there, which is one of the problems. Obviously, Flash was reduced in the distance not too long ago. It was only taken from, I think it was 500 to 525 from 525 to 500, something like that. Someone could probably go, oh my god, Demon just completely put the stats wrong, but don't worry about that. I do it quite often enough that I will not be too upset. Riven, though, is going to continue pushing up the top there. Diamonds is going to come across and force him away from that lane. Cassiopeia, meanwhile, in the middle. They're trying to get on towards Alex Sage. Linak in with him. Linak, of course, just used his ulti in the, a moment ago to get Aurelia down. So Alex, I think, will not get away from this one. He's trying to lay as much damage on Althor as he can, trying to juke in between that bushes, but he will go down. And now that puts against all authorities 7-4 up. Remember, they kind of need to win within 25 minutes for Dignitas to have much of a hope. And I'm not too sure how the situation is going to work between the two. I don't know what's going to happen when they're 2-on-2. I'm confused. I'll have to look at the full
we have the stats
afterwards.
here in a Skype message, so we'll try and look at that after the game once we have figured out what's going on. In the meantime, Dignitas Cypher has gone into a little bit of a quiet phase after that last gank that came in. We did see one kill actually onto, no, it was for Nunu. Taking down Udio. That was caught out. Actually, we should maybe switch over to this screen now because we do have a big fight going off in middle. Skyheart somehow managing to survive this one. We will see the ulti go off from Maokai. In the meantime, Tariq is caught in the midst of everything as well. They're trying to focus him down, but they're scared of the rest of the team. They're all very high in terms of health. As the stun goes across pretty much everyone, there goes Tariq. We will see Tariq and Morgana go down as well. They're trying to chase up onto Riven, who is very, very low. I Will Dominate going to try and get that present over there. In fact, his present is going to be a flash there straight in onto Sivir, and that will be 15-8 and another 3 kills for nothing. Dignitas are on cruise control right now. They're going to even start off a Baron, so let's maybe stick to this one while we're at this crucial stage. I don't see anyone getting anywhere near them. Actually, Schleier is just farming nicely in the middle while they try to do this Baron. They should be pretty safe. They've got it down to half HP.
Yeah, meanwhile, in this case, Olsaf has just been taken down the bottom there. Skarner's also back coming, so if you could switch back over, it would be wonderful, because we've got a bit of a team fight going on down here. Oh, Gozu's just been completely ulted by Althor there, but then Alex immediately replies, puts his ulti down himself, so that's going to be Skarner going down to Kog'Maw in amongst all that one. Althor is going to back around, so 8-6 the scores there. Also, the support Olsaf was picked off in amongst all that. It was actually Pepper, I think it was. Yeah, Gozu Pepper, no, he got the support kill. I was going to say, it wouldn't be so great if he got the kill. I thought he may have. He managed to put the crescendo right across him just before he switched across. So a very much aggressive match between both these teams. Dignitas looking full control on that one at the moment. Obviously, they have the Baron, yeah, looking across the screen there. Darien now taking down the top turret. Meanwhile, on this side, very even match. And Moscow 5 with the first tower. That's going to put them again ahead in gold era, 1k ahead. But the kill advantage at the moment against the authorities. Let's look quickly down the CS. You can see Kog'Maw and Graves 91 to 94. Very even between those two. Up at the top, 121. It was to 121 to 121. Meanwhile, actually, they're having a bit of a fight there. I can see Cassiopeia moving across them. So as is going to try to keep him busy. Blue's just about to be given across towards Galio. And also in the mid, I should point out, 99 for Cassiopeia, 117 for Galio. So Galio has managed to outfarm Cassiopeia in the mid there. See, Cassiopeia has been trying to roam and get the kills there. Dragon now just spawning. Diamond is hovering around it. We're going to keep my eye on what's happening over there, Jay, because I think we're about to have a dragon fight. Actually, they're backing away from it at the moment, so let's jump straight over to Joe's screen, because they're having a big team fight right now.
Yeah, we've got a big fight coming in. Finally, Veigar has actually gone down in the midst of everything, but that Baron buff still on the two remaining players that are pushing in here. We are going to see Voyboy come into the midst of everything. That AE damage is surely going to clear this one up. He gets one kill, Corki gets another. There's the second, making it a double kill for Corki, and it's now Lune who's in all kinds of trouble. Only one man alive for Cypher, and surely with the players that they've got alive, they're going to be able to take down this turret. They're actually tanking it at the moment. Corki's tanking it, which is obviously not the most ideal situation. That middle outer turret will go down now for Dignitas. That is actually, considering this game, the first turret that's gone. But let's switch over to your screen, because we may be seeing some Dragon action.
Well, they're definitely stacking up for Dragon at the moment over on my side. There's they've got pretty much a 5v5. You can see that Aurelian now has come down, and the rest of Against All Authorities stacking around this Dragon. It's sort of been a tense action. While all that was going on, they've been pretty much chest beating each other across the wall down the river there, not actually engaging themselves. I was like, oh, are they going to go fight? But meanwhile, it was going on over there. So it looks like Against All Authorities instead, they're going to say, okay, fine, you can have Dragon. We'll go for the tower. No, they managed to walk the way down. Can they manage to catch it out? You can see Linak has managed to flash in there. He's cuts across on towards Darien there. Probably the worst one to pull in Aurelia. And it really just gives him the buff going straight into a team fight. Sawaz is in all sorts of trouble trying to get back out of that one. Alex has just managed to catch a couple of people in the ulti there. Osaf is going to get popped there. Linak's trying his best to go for Darien continually. Darien is going to go down eventually to the Ignite, but I think it's going to be a little bit too late. Linak's surely going to go down. Graves in the meantime has not been able to get involved in this fight at all. Sawaz is desperately trying to escape this one along with Althor. Althor's just thinking, why me? Why did I get involved in this? I was kept long away, but I think he's surely going to go down. Graves trying his best to pick him off. The tower will do damage on towards Alex there, but he will pull away from it, and that brings things all square back to 9. Then there's a huge stack going up top, and Alex Hitch immediately responds and teleports up towards the top there, while the rest of his team go and pick up Dragon. Moscow 5 are really on the ball there Against Authorities. Going to have to pull out something special to win this game in the next 7 minutes.
Got Dignitas at the moment in this game actually pushing onto the inner turret now. So we're going to see how that one actually goes. We switch in there. We see Scar actually flash his way in. Did get the trap down as well, and they're surely going to have a turret and an inhibitor from this one. I want to keep the camera fairly high because I can expect them to jump in there and try and go for the kills. That's exactly what they're going to do. In onto Sivir, who is just about still alive. She was actually stunned, but there's a big team fight. Ulti going down from Nunu. Actually, they pretty much all got away from that one. I will dominate. Surely will die to the turret, but it's going to allow Dignitas to take down this inhibitor. And I feel that one mistake in this game from either team could really swing things around, as we see Scar there getting that dark binding in onto him. Did have a bit of tormented soil. Piri actually jumping into the middle of everything and going straight down with it. They're going to try and take out Sivir, which will happen for them. Morgana was there on the fountain, but this turret is surely going to be the attention and the focus now from Dignitas. We have seen Riven come back into the fight. Will Dignitas stick around, Are they going to back away? No, actually, we see them hammering away on that Nexus, trying to finish things off. And look at Corki up there. He is doing the damage. We have seen Vega go down. Can they stay alive long enough? He's flashing around, and they will manage to finish off the Nexus. GG, Dignitas are going to win this game. Cracking finish.
Cracking finish, cracking match as well. So let's switch back over now as Against All Authorities pretty much have finished off. They've just all teleported back, so they've all been back and by. So let's have a quick rundown while they're sort of getting their positions sorted out. 120 CS for Graves, meanwhile down the bottom, 135 for Cockmore. Cockmore pulled slightly ahead. Cockmore now going for the attack speed, which he did in the first game, sort of going more for the attack speed than the massive damage, which he possibly go for. Riven actually getting a ping over there, nothing really coming of it, so as just is actually clearing the lane quickly and then rotating across. I think he's trying to catch Cassiopeia, so Cassiopeia needs to be careful that Irelia doesn't come around the backside. He's going to pick up those wolves en route. Pings are going down in River as well, so that was directly on saying, yep, there's a ward here, so avoid this territory. Shirelia's Reverie now has been picked up by Skarner in the meantime down the bottom there. So the jungler, obviously no oracles as far as I can see. Let's have a quick look across. Osaf does not have an oracle. Osaf's actually been targeted a few times. Pepu doesn't have an oracle either. Oh, they're going to stack up around the backside. They're going to surely come backdooring on the turret. Will it come around the backside? So as it's there, no, Aurelius chose to go back across and continue pushing. So Riven has actually come across. Riven is now got to be careful going across this jungle. He has obviously Lee Sin, which is actually just backed away. So Wolves will be there. He's going to pick up that singular wolf and go back across and stop off Darien. So very much all square again. 9-9 in the score, but you can see the goal difference between the two is obviously 2 dragons are in there. There is 1 turret as well, and a little bit more CS as well for Moscow 5, but it's by far the most balanced game we've seen from Moscow 5 so far. Against Dignitas and against Cypher, it was massively one-sided, complete steamrolls. Very much keeping them on the toes and keeping them true in this game, but whether that's a case of pressure maybe against Moscow 5, it's the first real pressure situation that we've maybe seen them on. I'm not too sure actually whether they feel pressure, considering they're probably like 2-0 up. They're probably thinking, we just need to play it careful.
Play it long. I think is a point for them as well there. Yeah, and we actually touched on this. I don't know if we were just talking about it or whether it was on stream actually. About the fact that Moscow 5, you know, this is their first event. This is, are they going to feel pressure? Is it going to get to them that they've not really been in this situation as a team? Or are they really just as chilled as they seem? I'm going to probably go with the latter one at this stage of things because they've looked so good throughout the entire day. Yes, the scoreline is tied up. We're tied with turrets now as well. They still have that 3k gold advantage. And if we look down the individual kills, Lee Sin 415, good start for him. Riven 203 on the other side, 424 for Skarner as well. But Cogmore 326, 165 CS to 144, a little bit ahead. Got more kills, got more CS. It's still looking very good for Moscow 5, I feel, in this one.
Yeah, and I think we're going to pass the 25-minute mark, which is basically the marker that says Moscow 5, if they lost, they could go out the tournament. So I think we're going to pass that one without a problem, which means it's going to be either Dignitas or Against All Authorities that will potential for going through. Against All Authorities, of course, have to win this game now because Dignitas have just been and beat Cypher. So Cypher 0-0-3, Dignitas 2-1. Against All Authorities have to win this game to go 2-1. At the moment, Dignitas and Moscow 5 are currently through to the semi-finals. If, of course, Moscow 5 win this game, they're going to get SK in the final, and it will be Dignitas, TSM, WCG all over again.
Fun times. Time for some revenge games going off there. As we see, Yellow Star, your farming middle needs to be a bit careful, and as I say that, I didn't look at the mini-map. That's something that everyone should always do, especially when you're watching the game. I suppose there were 2 others with him as well. I thought he was all alone farming middle. Actually, Irelia coming down here through the jungle. That is, of course, Darien, who decides to back himself away. And it looks like Against All Authority are possibly going to set up for something here in the middle. Not sure exactly what the dragon timer was. I missed the last one.
Is about due, I think, is somewhere around there. I mean, just looking at the lanes, it has been very even between them. You can see at the top, Riven and Irelia, almost identical in CS. Down the bottom, actually, Cogmore has pulled ahead a little bit in the CS, but that's mainly for the fact that I think, yeah, he got 1 kill on him. But still, it's only 1 tower, actually 1 tower apiece, should say, between them at the moment. The gold difference, you can see, is 3k in favor of Moscow 5. That's because they picked up those two dragons. They have to put a pink ward on top of Dignitas's Dignitas, got that in my brain now, Against All Authorities pink ward, so that's cleared that out. So they have the vision of it. Against All Authorities have no vision whatsoever down the river. If I switch across, you can see that's what Against All Authorities can see at the moment, and they're coming in towards Moscow 5, which you can see everything at the moment on the map. They really have great vision. Galio coming across. It didn't want to waste his ulti early. Actually got stunned by Taric there. Osaf taking down very low, picked off immediately. Soaz goes, dives in. Alex flash ulti there. That's going to straight on. Oh, Osaf absolutely pops. This is going to go badly for Against All Authorities. Alex, though, meanwhile, has been taken down. Linac being picked on. Linac will go down. Althor didn't really manage to get his ulti across. That's gone horrendously wrong for Against All Authorities. Moscow 5 going big in that one. Very well played by Alex there. Actually timed it very well. And now they're switching up to Baron rather than going in for Dragon. They're like, you know what? Dragon, 190 gold. We want 250. We want Baron.
Yeah, a great solid fight. And again, Alex has received so much praise throughout this tournament, and you know we've done it as well when we first saw the old Empire team, which of course they're now called Moscow 5. That flash ulti in was just perfect from them. That really turned the way of that fight. Down there at the bottom, they are trying to chase Yellow Star down. Baron is about to be finished, and there is the kill, and it goes to Genja as well. The AD carry there on Kog'Maw couldn't have really gone to anyone nicer, I guess, at this stage of the game. He's got Phantom Dancer built up, double Doran's Blade, plus the Wriggles, which they have 2 in their team, by the way, just to add that. Abyssal Scepter on Galio. And also that Shurelya's Reverie. So some great items building up, and you can see in Moscow 5, you know, it was close, 9-9, 1 turret apiece. Then you see this big team fight going their way, 14-9. Baron goes their way. It's that snowball effect again.
It is that snowball effect. We got double Shurelya's Reverie. I'm guessing that's what Sona's building as well. So possibly double Shurelya's Reverie, easy for me to say, as my friends would be laughing about that one, because I had a moment in YouTube land somewhere along the line ages ago where it used to cut, honestly to God, it used to cut off the Y, and it looked like Shurelya's. It was horrible to say. We're going to avoid that subject though, because I've just dropped myself right in it there. So Soaz going to continue pushing up towards the top lane. Hasn't really, you can see, hasn't had any chance of doing damage to this tower. Aurelia's really kept him away for Aurelia, obviously taking that tower. So he's been really having to pull away all the time. And Soaz, you know, we've talked so much about Soaz being a fantastic top. But at the moment, you can see that Darian really has completely kept him in control, kept up with the CS all the way through, and taken his tower for the pleasure, and really been able to get involved in the team fights when it counts. Down at bottom, it's been Graves versus Kog'Maw, and well, Kog'Maw is now pretty much a hyper-fed. He's got that Phantom Dancer. He's just going to rip this turret apart. Don't think Yellowstar's going to be able to do a great deal about that. Does manage to put the smoke on, get that line of sight down, but it doesn't matter because the tower is already down. Back in the middle, Althor against on Cassiopeia versus Galio. Well, Galio has really out-farmed him, which is no shock, actually. Galio, he can farm very well. Now he's got an easily large rod, so he's really going to actually hurt, as well as be a great support with that Shurelya's in there. And the Abyssal Scepter, obviously, to knock the reduce the magic resist of the area, which is all great for them. Meanwhile, well, we've got Rabadon's Death Cap on Cassiopeia. He has been able to get a bit of AP in there. He's having to use the Brilliance Pot to try and keep it balanced. But the damage-wise, really Riven, I think it's actually been caught out a few too many times. Oh, Infinity Edge now just been completed by Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw is going to be beastly now with that Phantom Dancer to go with that very fast attack speed. So at the moment, Against All Authorities really are against all odds. It's the best thing I can put. It's a horrible pun, but it's one I'm going to finish with.
Thanks for that. So I now have to take over after that brilliant one.
Brilliant.
We see there the range on Kog'Maw just hammering away at those couple of champions that are hanging around that turret. Of course, we do have Baron buff still up for the Moscow 5 guys, and I think they're just going to walk straight in here, take that turret down without any problems whatsoever. The question is, how far are they going to push now with this Baron buff? Against All Authority have started to get themselves all ready and waiting around this turret. Linac just having a bit of a poke out there, but I'm not sure that they could wisely fight from this one. I mean, just look at the main damage sources. I mean, look at those 2 AD carries, the difference in items between Kog'Maw and Graves. Graves just not pulling his weight in this one, unfortunately. Yellow Star, who, you know, we praise him a lot. He deserves a lot of praise. He's an amazing AD carry, but this game has just not been his, and we may see a bit of initiation coming on here. Alex was having to think about it by the looks of things, and actually does have his flash available as well. So at some point, we're probably going to see that flash ulti in from Galio And Moscow 5 are going to look to have it.
Just look how far away that Kog'Maw's staying. I mean, literally throughout all that, he was just staying right up here, out the way. And right now he's staying, yeah, it's like, I am going to be right at the back. I'm actually behind Sonar as well. Just keeping well out the way of any chance at diving in towards me. Obviously careful that Skarner could try and pop that ulti, pop a Shirelli and try and dive after him. And this is exactly what Linak is trying to do. And Diamonds is like, yeah, pull me. Go on. I'm all for it. bring it on, son. But it's, at the moment, it's very tense stuff. And that has Baron actually run out now. So the Baron buff has been used up. They didn't actually take any inner turrets to it. So this is probably the most cautious that we've seen Moscow 5. And really, you know, SK are going to be looking at this one because they are currently the potentials to be playing Moscow 5. I'm not saying that Against All Authorities are out of this one yet. Not by a long stretch. It is still very, very close and could easily swing in one big team fight. Oh, Linak still trying. He desperately wants to try and get a pop off and try and run on someone. Anyone that's just going to show themselves available. While they're doing this, though, you can see Aurelia is over here going, yeah, fine, I'm taking your turret. Riven's had to cut across to deal with him, which means it's a 4-on-4 in the mid there. Linak has managed to catch on towards Diamonds. Alex immediately goes straight in, pops that ulti down. Osaf being taken down and targeted straight away. Genja comes in, rips him apart. Genja now catching on towards Linak. Linak also going down. You can see the ulti coming across. Pepper's going to try and catch up. Managed trying his best to pop that speed, but you can see Shirelia's has double been used there to try and keep up. Meanwhile, Riven and Aurelia went at it, and I think Riven got away very low, yes. So Riven was also very low health, so Aurelia's winning out that fight, and this has just gone all shapes of wrong for Against All Authorities. That bottom turret has been taken down, the inner turret. Now Genja and Darian are going to rip this base turret apart, and I think this may well be GG, and there's not much they can do about this. Riven's going to try and get out towards Genja, but immediately comes in, the heal gets popped, turn around, rip it apart Soaz. Soaz gets destroyed. I think Diamonds actually know it was Aurelia that finally picked up the kill there, Darian there. So Moscow 5 just continuing their dominance, and they are so quick to react. When one of their teammates gets caught in trouble, or when someone gets a stun, they are immediately on. The whole team just turns straight on them. Very quick reactions. And the rest of the teams like SK and TSM are going to have to be looking at this one thinking, we are going to have a fight on our hands here.
Yeah, for sure. And TSM, you know, they know better than anyone maybe about how Moscow 5 have been playing recently after those scrims that we saw online. I see Linak there moving out on his own. We do have Ozaf there with him. Are they all going back? Yep, they will be going back. The Baron buff has now timed out, so maybe Against All Authority will try to do a little bit of damage in this middle lane. They obviously only have the one turret down so far, which came early on when it was actually 1-1 in turrets down on that bottom lane. But that's not going to be the target for them so far. And Against All Authority know that, well, it's best for them as well. The longer that they survive, even if they lose, actually doesn't even matter then, does it? Because I think Dignitas would go through.
No, yes, because Dignitas have just beat Against All Authorities. Yeah. And I'm not too sure on the times between them, but I think right now it is Against All Authorities. I don't know about the splits between them two. I'm sure there's some sort of time limit at some point somewhere that has been calculated. Sean has been working hard and diligently on that one. It's really, for Against All Authorities, they have to win a Baron fight, which is about to start. I think, you know, you can see Moscow 5 starting to set up for that. Against All Authorities had placed them wards out, but they're not protecting them enough. There's no oracles down at the moment, but they instead, Moscow 5 using the pink wards, which is something we saw a lot of with GBT earlier on in a few months ago, and you can see Against All Authorities now desperately trying to protect those few wards they've got in River. Let's knock it away. You can see there is just that singular ward that they have in that bush there that is really the only warning sign that they have anything at Baron, and immediately that's been taken down. Yeah, that was the one. They put a pink ward straight down in it and took it straight out. So Moscow 5 now with pink wards everywhere, pulling out on the Baron there, and Against All Authorities are going to try and come in and respond. Linak going, oh, I've gone a little bit too early, guys, sorry, I'm going to get caught out, and Linak will go down with there. I think he was trying to dash in madly to try and pop off on the Baron there, but it was all too much, and Moscow 5 now complete domination, reaching across. Yellow Star is going to get Alex to randomly ulti on him. I think that was a little overkill. He was pretty much dead anyway, and of course Aurelia picking up the kill. So 4-0 once again without reply, 21-9. Suddenly the score is looking a lot bigger than that 9-9 it was earlier, Joe, but this is looking a very strong Moscow 5. They're picking up Baron meanwhile, and that will be Baron pretty much picked up. In the meantime, they'll be down the bottom. Yeah, they'll take the mid turret and the inner turret. The bottom turret's got a big stack of minions already taking it down. In fact, they may well do that because the tank unit was there, the siege minion, and that will be the mid turret as well with the inhibitor. I'm not too sure if if Against All Authorities can really do anything about this one. So it's looking like it's going to be Moscow 5 and Dignitas that will progress, which sets us up for a TSM Dignitas, as I'm actually choking up.
Don't die on me, Demon. Don't die on me. And you've got the control, so you can't unfocus too much. But we are seeing those turrets go down. Nexus is there. They're going to go for one last bit of a fight. No, they're not. They're going to focus straight in on the Nexus. And Moscow 5 are going to pick up the victory here against All Authority. It just... dominance again. It was so close for a while. We saw it 1-1 in towers. It was, I think, 5-5 in kills, something like that. The gold was a couple of thousand in favor of Moscow 5 from those dragons, but one good team fight, and it just went totally away from them.
And Against All Authorities were, I believe they were 7-5 up at one point when we were switching between games, and it went to 9-9 all square. One turret went down. It really could have gone any way, and that's actually the closest we've seen Moscow 5 take it. And Moscow 5, you know, they said themselves, the only team they feared was Against All Authorities. Well, I think they're rightly so. They've obviously something between those teams that, you know, it synergizes and they can actually sort of knock points off each other. The question is, can SK now react to that? It's going to be a big ask for them because Moscow 5 look very good, but Ocelot, I think, is going to rise to the challenge because earlier on, obviously, they said, you know, the best AP in the mid, Alex Ich. And now Ocelot, not too sure how he's going to react to that. He likes a challenge, and he, you know, he said it himself, you know, even against Reginald, he struggled against Reginald, to be fair. He got completely outpicked. He said it himself. He owned up to it. But I think he's going to relish the challenge going against them. Now, SK obviously just won Go for LOL. They did very well in their group, but they did lose quite badly to TSM. Yeah. Now, Moscow 5 will have watched all those games and thinking, okay, well, that's how they got counterpicked. We could probably try and counterpick them themselves. But at the moment, I think Moscow 5 have kind of just said, we're just going to pick our own way and let you guys do what you want.
Yeah, and I think that's the right way as well. We've seen from Moscow 5, from right back at the beginning when no one really knew who Empire was, and they were like, hello, we're Empire. Check us out.
We're using Revive Ash.
We're doing an Empire.
Yeah.
And they've constantly broken them all. Okay, this game, actually, they were pretty standard in terms of a setup. Yeah. But you saw there Genja making a big difference with Kog'Maw. So heavily farmed in comparison to the enemy AD carry, which was Graves. I mean, 0-3-6 for Yellow Star, 7-2-14 for Kog'Maw. He's got Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer. I'm pretty sure at the end of this game he would have had a load of gold as well because he had that about 5 minutes before the end as well. Graves, he's got a pickaxe, a zeal, and that bloodthirster built up, which now he's fine at this stage of the game, but earlier on when it really countered, when Kog'Maw was basically keeping him away from every single turret because of that ridiculous range, and there was nothing that Against All Authority could actually do about that. When they even got near to Kog'Maw, he A-backed off, or Alex said, okay, that's a good one for me. I'm going to flash ulti in, and there we go. Another team fight for us. Overall, Moscow 5, very, very impressive, and surely one of the favourites for the... Well, I say that now that they're going through to the semi-final, and there's only 4 teams left.
Bandwagon, here it is.
Well, I'd say favourite for the tournament.
Yeah, indeed. Definitely one of the favourites. They came into this tournament with massive amounts of hype. We tried to play it down a little bit, but really, they've actually lived up to that hype. They've done very well. We're going to get an interview coming in soon. I don't know where it is, but...
don't know who, don't know when, but they are going to come through our door any second. And as I do the fingers,
it's Alex from Moscow 5, so he's going to be coming in. So, but, I mean, let's just lay out the tournament. So now we have Dignitas versus TSM. Big match straight away there. A lot of rivalry, I guess you could say, from what's happened. I know certainly Dignitas are going to want to one-up them. Obviously, they met each other at the World Cyber Games as Team USA 1 and Team USA 2. Technically, Chicks Dig Elo, I think.
Just going to throw it out there, we are going to see Europe versus North America final.
Yeah, well, it will be a Europe versus... Well, the question is, will it be Eastern or Western?
True, I suppose.
Actually, technically, we can say Western because they play out of the US, so we're claiming that one.
Yeah, so there we go. That's it.
But, I mean, TSM Dignitas, that is a huge game right there. I mean, the American fans, I'm not too sure what time these are on. You can check it out over on IntelExtremeMasters.com. There is a schedule on there, honest. I found it tricky to find, actually, earlier.
Actually, if you go to IntelExtremeMasters.com, you can find it really easily.
Are you going to prove it to me?
Shall I prove it? Shall I go full screen here and you can do it? So, IntelExtremeMasters.com, live from Kiev.
That's a tough one to find.
You know, which it'll actually show up here on this left-hand side. That's the complete match. It says click here for complete schedule, and then I don't want to be
restreaming a stream.
Yeah, but the point is that it's all here that we're showing. As you can see, League of Legends starts tomorrow with the first semi-final at 4 o'clock local time, 3 o'clock Central European time, 2 o'clock GMT.
Maths.
Then work it out from there. Yeah, 7 a.m., right? It's 5 hours behind Eastern from GMT.
No, 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
2 p.m. Yeah, it'll be 9 a.m. Well, I don't know.
4 o'clock Central Europe. 4 o'clock Eastern European time. And we know, guys, time zones, but
there's these things called the internet. You can check them out. It tells you what time zones to use. Use the Googles. Use the Google skills. But yes, so that will be the first semi-final. First
semi-final at 4 o'clock our time. The second one at 7:10 our time, which is a really random time. But they are best of threes, which is why the times seem a little bit strange to start the games. But we'll be trying to stick as closely to our schedule as we have done for the last 2 days. I hope you guys at home agree that not playing the game straight away that you would then maybe miss when you went for a shower or for your dinner or whatever.
It's the first tournament I've seen people going, oh my God, why have they not started already? When the scheduled time actually says this is when we started. We've not once missed a timed slot yet. Touch wood. We've got 2 days left to go. But yeah, that's hence why there's been delays. The games have actually finished up early. We have to plan for these issues when things may go wrong in the gaming arena.
We have to,
because
otherwise, then you'd be complaining when we're starting late anyway. Yeah. So, but the thing is, we tried this little thing today, which we won't have again in the tournament since the other games are actually split up. But let us know how you think about it, because it could be an option for future tournaments as well. How you like the whole switching around thing. We tried to stay in with Moscow 5 against All Authority. I'm sure there's already loads of threads about why we
am I switching?
split away from that one. Yeah, and again, high five to our production crew for actually managing to be fast enough to switch around the whole time. But I think there's a man here at the back. I can't even see his face properly because of this light here. Alex is going to have a sit down and a chat with Demon, I presume.
Okay, yeah, why not?
Since you've seen all the games today and I've only managed to catch 2 at once, which is cooler than anyone else. And yeah, we'll be back in just a second with an interview with Alex from Moscow 5.
And he goes jumping in. Amazing round. Great hat-trick from Taz.
Big flashes in and casts the ultimate. Lina, 20 health left. Oh, no, super flash. The shield clutch.
Oh, a blink into all those units. An amazing defense. Champion of the Intel Extreme Masters.
And welcome back. As if by magic, there was no rush whatsoever there for Alex. It's like, sit down now. Alex, well, you've just topped the group 3-0. Absolute fantastic performance. Did everything go as planned?
Yeah, pretty planned. Darian won all 3 coin tosses. We decided to play the second side this game. So just, I thought that versus AAA it will be like more good for us. Better for us.
So you're even winning the coin tosses.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, this is the first time we've seen you at this tournament. You've had to change to Galio. Them flash ultis, they just worked every time.
Yeah, it's like even when I got stunned, I like 2 times I think I ulted in the Taric stun that was flying to me. But even in that time, I ulted like all 5, so it did like huge damage with Abyssal Scepter. And when their strategy was like Riven stunning the Galio, she got cleans, and it was like I should ulti all 5, he cleanses, stuns me, okay. But it can't be like that in fight. All the time Riven was jumping to the Kog'Maw, and they were like split, and the 3 of them almost all the time were staying together. Taric, I think, Cassiopeia, and Graves, yeah. So they were 3 staying together, and I was just ulting them all the time. So they were splitting, and I think that was like the most mistake of the game.
Yeah, and of course you had Pepper to just follow up with a crescendo across him if they managed to interrupt you straight away.
I think first pick Skarner, it worked pretty well for them. He got like 4 frags, I think, in the beginning. We were a bit screwed up, I think, early, but then we made team fights, and in team fights we got like great combo.
Yeah, and Diamonds had a few problems trying to get out of the jungle. In fact, both junglers really did, because you were both warding very well. And I think it was at 9-9. What really you felt actually clicked when, it was 9-9 in kills, all very even? What clicked for you guys to just suddenly turn it on? And I don't think they got a single kill after that. Yeah, they didn't know. 21-9.
I think we just grouped together. It was like all the fights. I think we started like 4 versus 4, 4 versus 5, 3 versus 4. There were no like huge team fights, and then we got pretty good position in those fights. I mean, when we came to the Drake, I think I didn't have ultimate, but they didn't want to fight because I think Cassiopeia hadn't ultimate too. So we were just like harassing them pretty hard. We got Galio, we got Kog'Maw. We let Kog'Maw all the blue buffs for the harassing, and it just worked pretty fine. And then I got Abyssal, I got Shirelle, and we got like, I mean, Galio Sona combo, it's just huge move speed. And Kog'Maw is slowing down, so you are just running away, you're just running in them. I mean, they couldn't run away from us almost all the time.
Double Shirelias.
Yeah, double Shirelias.
Do you think that's too strong? I mean, do you think there's going to be... I think, personally, Riot are probably going to do something about this after the tournament?
I don't know. It was like everyone. I mean, I think Cypher or, yeah, AAA, I don't really remember. Some French team were using like 3 or 4 Shirelias, so it isn't, I think, that surprising. It's like about, I like Shirelle personally on Galio because he need to initiate, he need cooldowns, and it's a great item.
Yeah, and indeed, and it's certainly everyone's really twigged on using it lately. Now, obviously, you've topped the group. You're going to be playing SK tomorrow. I mean, how do you feel about that? You got to see them play. You've been here pretty much throughout. You guys have. Some teams have sort of been in and then they're not playing, so they're not been here. I don't think I've seen TSM today at all. So whether they've been probably at home, maybe watching streams, I don't know. What do you guys think of SK? I mean, you saw them obviously lose to TSM. Then they came on strong. Personally, yourself as well, going to be playing against Ocelot. How do you think sort of the matches are going to go? Obviously, you're going to say you're going to win, but
yeah.
Outside of that?
Outside of that, I think it will be interesting matches. I think a lot depends on picks. I mean, we are like not showing all on the group stage.
Yeah.
We got some homework that we are going to show in playoffs. I don't really know if we're gonna use it versus SK or versus TSM or not use it at all. I think we will decide it tomorrow. But we know SK pretty well. I know heroes that Ocelot doesn't play, so it's just it will be pick dependent. I think it will be interesting for us and for them.
Okay, and it's interesting that you should say whether we should use it against TSM. So I guess you're suggesting that TSM are going to make the finals through Dignitas?
Yeah, I think TSM should win this. Dignitas didn't show that, I think, the greatest performance. You know, maybe it could be like 2-1 but I think TSM will win it anyway.
So what makes you think that TSM would be strong? What sort of strengths do you think they're going to have or show against Dignitas? Obviously, these guys have played each other probably for the World Cyber Games, at the World Cyber Games, and certainly for tournaments outside of that. What makes you think TSM are going to have the edge over Dignitas?
I think TSM are just, you know, they got some psychological edge. It's like everyone, I think, in the US thinking that TSM is great, TSM is the one, TSM is the first. So it's like, for us, Europe, it's like, okay, US team, Europe team. And for them, I think it's more like psychological, more, they know each other much more than we know about them. They know less about us. So it's just pretty, I think our peaks, our game was pretty unexpected for Dignitas. So it's like, I think that TSM are pretty prepared for Dignitas.
So does this mean we're expecting to see an Alexic Summoners showcase, like spotlight on you? We've seen obviously many of the streamer spotlights. I know you stream. I think is it Genja that streams as well?
Yeah, me and Genja are streaming, and Diamond and Darian and Gossip Pepper got not really good computers for that. Pepper sometimes streams, but he got like 20 FPS when he's streaming, so it's pretty bad. I mean, he doesn't stream when we play 5 versus 5 premates, he streams only solo queue. And yeah, we use Genja streaming. Genja is like all the time farming bot lane, so I got a bit more viewers.
Yeah, you get the excitement of being in mid and roaming around the map. So,
yeah.
You know, you guys at home, you need to be tuning into that. Obviously, there are other players out there, and, you know, Moscow 5 are proving that one. Is there any surprises that you thought from this tournament outside of the teams that got through? I mean, I know you said you thought TSM and SK would get through. Any surprises that you think you saw in this group? Is it kind of laid out exactly how you thought it would?
I thought that the AAA will win. I mean, they really, I really didn't like their pictures. It's like, when I saw the picks, like when it was even 0-0, I said that if AAA won't gank with this pick, they will lose. And it was like, I think 2 ganks from AAA, like 2-0, and then just 5 versus 5 fights and no chance for them. So it's just, yeah, as I say, in League of Legends, picks are like the most part. You need really to think very much. It's like when Ocelot, like LeBlanc against Cyan, it's just, it's
it, game over,
the game is most over. I mean, the game is over even when it doesn't start. It's just, you need really, I mean, you need really huge performance with the worst pick to win.
Yeah, so do you think that's like the tactical edge that you guys got? I mean, it's effectively full-on mind chess for like however long the picks last for. What is it? It's a 30-second timer you've got each time, or, well, 45 seconds I think it is per hero picks. I mean, what sort of discussions goes on between yourselves? You've said before that you just kind of pick players that you like. I mean, is there any sort of set strategy you get? Okay, we're playing these guys, therefore we got to play this sort of tactic, or is it just a case of I like this champion, I'm playing it?
It's about when I saw Cassiopeia, it's just like I can pick only Galio against her. It's about we were on bans when we were banning. I mean, even on coin toss, I wanted second pick because like I wanted 2 heroes. As I thought they will pick I thought they will pick Ryze first pick, but they banned it and we're going like Cassiopeia. They know I don't play Cassiopeia, so it's just about they picked Skarner and we got 2 picks, so we got Sona and Lee Sin as we wanted. So and then we just got we were picking heroes that we want. I mean, Genja is almost all the time Genja is picking himself. He's got something in his mind that we don't understand. He's picking ADs like Kennen, Kog'Maw, and just stomping everything. It's just, he's an incredible player.
Yeah, and he really stayed out of the way. So anyway, congratulations for your win today. Obviously, I'm not going to really ask you about your picks and bans and what you're thinking of tomorrow because you, SK, are probably sat watching this right now, or even if you're going to watch a restream or people will post them. I don't know. And they're kind of questions. I mean, as an event, you've played here all day today. You happy with the venue? You guys have been here for at least a week. You know, your first visit to Kiev. Are you enjoying the Cyber Arena?
Yeah, we like it very much. I mean, it's pretty cool. There are no such clubs in Russia, so it's just great. And this meeting all people that you saw only online is just, I mean, I even didn't see my team like 3 weeks before we got boot camp, so we were training a lot lately.
Yeah, and I guess Moscow 5 have been treating you well. Obviously, you've moved to them fairly recently.
Yeah, Moscow 5, we were like Empire, we didn't have contracts, and Moscow 5, we were like, someone of our team got contact with Moscow 5, and they like said like, yeah, we want League of Legends team. So we moved to Moscow 5, and we really like this organization. I mean, they made us boot camp, they moved us to Kiev. It's just really great, and I mean, it's not only like we got KS team that is, we're like, I don't know how to say it, for them.
And of course, I believe in Counter-Strike, it's also SK versus Moscow 5 in the semi-finals. So we've got a double SK versus Moscow 5. So guys at home, you may get confused when you see some results. You sort of say, may see SK Moscow 5 and see 16-14 or something, go, oh, what, is that the end of the game or what's happened? So, good blow. I was nearly gone and then it slipped off. I guess we should call it a day there because I'm falling off my chair. Joe's laughing away at me in the background. Let's hope you don't get snowed in tomorrow. It's snowing pretty heavy when I came in this venue. I'm guessing that's finished, but anything you'd like to say to your fans, your friends, your streamers, your followers, your Twitter boys? I don't know whether you got... In fact, you guys don't seem to have Twitter accounts. We were trying to look for your Twitter accounts earlier.
I think I got only a Facebook account, but I don't use it pretty much. and I don't have Twitter.
Oh, you're going to get media friendly. It's going to start taking off after this tournament.
I mean, I'm much more on Russian Facebook and for Russian fanboys. Don't know. Maybe I will think about it.
Okay. Okay. Any thoughts for your friends and fans and family members watching?
Так, хотелось бы сказать спасибо Moscow 5, передать привет Юле, своей девушке, передать привет маме, папе и сестре. Также передаю привет всем фанатам, которые за нас болели. Передаю привет чатику. Передаю привет про Доте. Ну и всем троллям заодно тоже привет передаю.
I'm going to trust that was all safe and parental free and teen rated. So thank you very much, Alex.
Yeah,
and
thank you very much
congratulations for making the semi-finals. Good luck versus SK.
Yeah,
we will be back here, obviously, Intel Extreme Masters. You'll be able to watch the restream if you've missed the matches. But as for now, we are over for the day. So obviously tomorrow we're going to have TSM versus Dignitas and SK versus Moscow 5 in the League of Legends games. Check it out, intelextrememasters.com. Obviously, you can catch Joe Miller, follow his action. He's going to be on Twitter at Joe_Miller, and myself is at QVDman. Of course, you can check out Moscow 5's website and everybody else that's taking part. So, guys, don't forget to tune in tomorrow. We will be back bright and early. Actually, it's not so bright and early. I can have beers. It's all good. And, of course, don't forget a shout-out to our wonderful sponsors here on the board behind them. You can see, obviously, without them, we would not be able to make these events and have this wonderful technology that has to get shipped all the way from Germany and then over to Brazil. It goes all around the world. There's a lot that goes into these that you don't actually see at home, but we are very, very thankful for all the production crew that are out the back, having to listen to me for pretty much all day. So without further ado, we will be back tomorrow. Don't go near, guys. Watch the restream.
And he goes jumping in. Amazing round. Great hat-trick from Taz.
Big flashes in and casts the ultimate. Then a 20 health left. Oh no, super flash. The shield clutch.
Oh, a blink into all those units. An amazing defense. Champion of the Intel Extreme Masters.